Who here has children? Children, a decent portion of you. Who here has ever been a child at some point in their lives? Right? No, Jeff, no. Okay, so mostly everybody. All right, so I want you to
We
imagine.
forgot to ask who is still a child.
Yes,
Most
who is still a
important part.
child? Which you won't have to imagine being a child. You're already there with eyes full of childlike wonder. So imagine you're a child, or your children are young again, if that's easier, and you're showing up to your very first martial arts class. You're
Ooh.
probably feeling some excitement, maybe some nervousness, maybe this was a little bit more your parents' idea. So you're intrigued, but you'd kind of rather be somewhere else. You walk into the door, and the first person you greet is wearing a black belt with a bunch of stripes and an outfit like you've seen in movies. And this person, in your 8-year-old eyes, could very likely have superhuman ninja skills. Whoa.
Mm-hmm.
They walk over, and instead of talking to mom, like you expect, like most adults do, they drop down to a knee and smile. They say hi, call you by your name, and give you a high five. Then it's time to step out onto the mats. You line up with all the other kids, and the first thing you learn is something called front position. So when we do front position, we make a fist with one hand, we cover it over with the other hand. But the instructor doesn't stop at just having you do this weird thing. They also explain what it means. So the fist represents the part of us that learns the martial arts, the punching, the kicking, the cool monkey backflips. And the open hand is our reminder that we don't use our martial arts, we don't let it out unless it's an appropriate time or if we really, really need it. Then you dive into learning like actual karate moves, punches and blocks and kicks, and it's fun. The instructors are smiling and playful. You do your first kick, and the instructor freezes, points right at you, and says, "That was awesome. Have you done karate before? No? That was a really good kick. Let's all do it like that." You flush with some pride and stand a little taller. And then by the end of class, you're learning a wrist breakaway, something that lets you escape the grip of someone bigger than you. You practice kind of slow with the instructor guiding you first and then faster. And then it gets fun, and the instructors turn it into a game. You're laughing and smiling and also feeling like, even though it's a scary thought, maybe you could actually do this if someone really did try to kidnap you. Then the class is done. You line back up, bow out the same way you bowed in. You kneel with the class, and the instructor pulls out a white belt. Who can tell me why the white belt is so important? Because it's the first belt you ever get. That's right. No matter what color you see on anyone's waist, whether it's yellow or orange or black belts, just like all the instructors, we all started just like you. We all began with this very first belt. And it takes a lot of courage to step out onto the mats for that very first time. So we want to show a lot of respect towards someone earning their very first belt. They call your name, you step up to the front, and the instructor reaches to tie on your new belt, and they put it on your head. No! While the kids scream, "Whoops, let me try again." And they put it on your shins. No! The instructor finally ties it around your waist, and everyone's smiling and giggling. You get a high five, and you're done. Did it. It was not what you expected, but it was way more fun than you thought it would be. You feel good. You can't wait to come back for your next class. That is how my teacher and mentor taught me to give someone a first class experience. That's the culture that we've built our martial arts school around. And embedded in it are all kinds of lessons and subtle seeds that we're planting through that first experience. So, right out of the gate, we greet the child with warm, welcoming energy. Most kids are looking at waistlines of adults talking over them all day long. Just like when you show up to a meeting and all the veteran leaders are talking to each other and ignoring the newbies coming into the room, we get on their level and we let them know that we see them. And not just that we see them, but that we're happy to see them. We are happy that they're there. And then we set the tone and the expectations from the start. We're gonna have fun, but there's also an expectation of listening and following directions. We want this activity to be safe and fun, and that means making good choices. There is a responsibility that comes with participating in this activity. And then we get excited for them to learn. There's a teaching technique that we train all of our instructors to that is literally called catch them doing something right. We're constantly scanning for ways to encourage positive behavior and skill development, and then we recognize the effort. We catch it right in the moment that it happens. And we make sure that they leave the class with confidence in a practical skill, a way to get started, and that feeling of success. And most important of all, we screw up putting their white belt on. We put it on their head and then we laugh at our own mistake. And the message is that this is a safe place to make mistakes because mistakes is how we learn and grow. There's a duality that we teach our instructors, and it's relevant to us as trainers in Toastmasters as well. First, you are only as good as your last class. Show up, be awesome, bring it every time you step up to teach or to train. And there's always another class. They don't need to learn it all today. They don't need to have it perfect today. We have time. This is just the beginning. So Ralph Smedley said that we learn best in moments of enjoyment. And as trainers and teachers, it's on us to make the experience engaging and enjoyable because that's what gets them to come back to the next class.